Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yakrpatamaham Vande Paramanandamadavam Paramanandamadavam. Namah Shri Shankarananda Gurupadambujanmane Savilasa Mahamoha Grahat Grasaika Karmane. We'll read verses 18 to 20 together. Saveti Vedyam Tat Sarvam Nanyastasyasti Vedita Vidita Viditabhyam Tat Pratag Bodhaswarupakam Bodhepyanubhavo Yasya Nakatanchana Jayate Tam Tata Tam Katham Bodhayet Shastram Loshtam Narasamakratim Jihva Mesti Navet Yuktihi Lajjayai Kevalam Yatha Nabudhyate Maya Bodha Bodhauvya iti tadrishi. So the consciousness is self-luminous, revealing itself with no difficulty, very distinctly, without any doubt whatsoever. Right? And therefore, one cannot but have the experience of the self. If it is something else, then one may know, one may not know. Is there a frog outside this, in this pond, outside this room? No idea. Probably you will try to listen for some time. There's sound coming. But no sound is coming. But you can't know for sure frog is there or not there. You have to go and see. Because the object is remote. Now, for example, behind Sudeshi is one person. Mandana. Does she have a book or no? I can see from here. Right? It may be pratyaksha, the object may be right in front, but there could be an obstacle. Even the pratyaksha object can have an obstacle. What to speak of paroksha, that frog outside. But nobody can say, suppose, am I there or not? The specs is not clear, it has to, I have to wipe it carefully. Then only I can see. Can anybody say like that? Can anybody say, no, I got cataract, I can't know whether I am there or not? Or of late, I'm hard of hearing. Nowadays I get confused fast. So I do not know whether I am there or not. The self is unignorable, unforgettable, not knowable. Not knowable, absolutely known. Nobody can avoid oneself. Therefore, Anubhava is there. Don't imagine that you do not know yourself. What has happened is that self experience has got mixed up with our experience of ourselves as a body, mind, and intellect. A mix up has happened. Just because a mix up has happened doesn't mean I do not know myself. That it is consciousness revealing itself is not lost even when there is a mix up. Just because there's a mix up, it doesn't mean you become inert. It doesn't happen that much. In fact, the inert appears conscious. Body appears conscious. The self does not appear inert. Such is that consciousness, so strong that in spite of the mix-up, it never actually has become what it has mixed up with. Even in ignorance, the self is not forgotten. Therefore, Anubhava is there. Such a person, he says, I do not experience the consciousness. Then Vidyaranya says, that is not a human being. That is some loshtam narasamakritim. If somebody says, I do not know myself, I don't experience consciousness, then he hits out. He really hits out. In fact, he expresses frustration. How many verses he is explaining, and after that also he says, I do not know what is this consciousness you are talking of. I don't know whether it is there or not. Maybe it is imagination. If anybody says like that, he says that is a human statue. And he could have said statue made up of gold, copper. He said this statue made up of clay. Loshta. Loshta is mud, no? Mud, clay and all those things. Loshta. It is as good as saying I don't have tongue. Me, I'm talking and I'm saying I don't have tongue. You don't have tongue, but you're talking. But I don't have tongue. I don't know whether tongue is there or not. But you're talking. I don't know whether my tongue is there. You are telling I have tongue, but I do not know whether I have tongue. What do you do with this kind of fellows? The very fact you are talking tells that you have a tongue. The very fact that you are conscious, you are sentient, the very fact you're asking this question, is consciousness there or not? Am I there or not? Am I of the nature of consciousness? The very fact that you're asking these silly questions shows that you are a epitome of consciousness, right? Consciousness cannot be denied because the one who is denying is that source of consciousness. So that way he brings about. But still, suppose you ask how to experience that consciousness, you tell. I want to experience. It is all nice you are telling I am consciousness, but I want to experience that. Then he says, look, this way you do, you will experience that consciousness. Let us read the verse. We are in verse number 21. Yasmin yasmin nasti loke bodhastattadupekshane yadbodhamatram tad brahma ityevam dhir brahma nishchayah. Yasmin yasmin nasti loke tevam dhir brahma nishchayah. Actually, you can't break it ityevam dhi because the whole thing becomes one line, and breaking that would disturb the meter. But just for the purpose of reading, we have broken it. Okay. Yasmin yasmin asti loke bodaha. Loke in this world, whatever you are seeing, the perceived world, the whole world, that loke. Yasmin yasmin bodaha. With respect to whatever object you have knowledge in this world, loke, yasmin yasmin bodaha asti. In whatever object you have knowledge. What do you mean, whatever object you have knowledge? This is a chair. That is a camera. Right? This is a mountain. This is my friend. This is a pen. That is a star. Yasmin, it really doesn't matter which object. That yasmin has got that force. It really does not matter which object. It also has the force of telling all objects. Okay. Yasmin loke bodaha asti. You have that knowledge. Okay. Vishaya bodha is there. What do you do to come to know that reality? What is that Brahman, as you say? Tattad upekshani. Okay. Upekshani, nirasani. That object about which you have that knowledge, that object you disregard. You disregard. You do not give attention to it. You want to know what is a consciousness, right? Whatever objects you perceive, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about the object. Tattad upekshane. Na iti nirasane. I'm not interested in that, not that, not that. In this way, whether it is a gross or subtle. Object doesn't mean always only gross object, even subtle object, even a particular emotion that you have. I understand. I don't understand. It really doesn't matter whether you understand or don't understand. Okay. What you have to know is the consciousness. So to know that what you do, that object what you are cognizing, what you are knowing, you reject it. You withdraw your attention from that. And after you withdraw your attention from that object, now what is happening? The object is catching all your attention, and therefore you are not intuitively able to see that. That is the only problem. The problem is not whether consciousness is there or not. The problem is lack of attention on this consciousness. That's all. Attentiveness is lacking. Like for example, I see that grill, is it not? I see that grill. Usually what happens when a grill is there, you don't see the grill. You see what is outside that, in a window and all. You don't pay attention to that grill, right? It is not that the grill is not there. It is we are not paying attention to it. For example, here also there is space. It is not that, but I see you only. It's not that space is not there. I don't pay attention to the space, that's all. Lack of attention is a problem. Not that we are not seeing. We are seeing, but we are not attentive. We are always standing at ease. In that Mathpada, standard tease. I always used to wonder, what is the standard tease? Standard tease. Standard tease. Actually, have you thought of what it is? The standard tease is nothing but stand at ease. And that is why they say, next time, attention. In Hindi, they say savdhan, na? Savdhan is what? Vishram. Vishram. And savdhan. Savdhan, actually, what does it mean? But savdhan also, be alert, na? There's some problem is going to happen, be alert, like that, or just be alert. Okay, be alert. So, attention. So, always at ease. Well, that's not the point. The point is, we miss the obvious. Without that grill, we will never be able to see outside. But we miss that obvious. The specificities hold our attention. The commonness, the base foundation is lost to our grasp. So it is not that consciousness is not there when I state my experience. I see the pot. Now I see the pot. Where is my attention? My attention is always on the pot. There are two components to that. I see the pot. I is also there, pot is also there, but my attention is always seeing the pot. Actually, the verb connects the subject to the object, is it not? But my attention is always on the object and not on the subject. Why is this subject a commonality? Because pot changes to become cot, cot changes to become house, house changes to become husband, husband changes to become wife. I can't say husband changes to become somebody, that will be dangerous. That is, therefore, the object is special. And because the object is special, it catches our attention. Because the object keeps changing, it catches our attention. Like for example, now after the class, all of you will go away, right, from here. Something else will come, right? Now I will be, when you in the class is there in progress, I see all of you. After you go, I don't see you, I see somebody else. But what is common is a space, I forget that. Somehow we are wired in such a way that we miss the common. We are wired, the mind is wired that way. That is why I don't see your face and all properly. But the moment you have a haircut and come, I see your face. You had a haircut today. Otherwise, normal. As long as somebody is normal, we have no perception of them. The moment an abnormality comes, we become very conscious. That is why I'm saying we are wired in such a way that we miss the obvious. But sometimes the obvious things are most important things. We recognize a person when he wears a new dress. Suppose old dress is there, we don't know. What dress you were wearing today, I will not know. But suppose you wore something very contrasting, horrible color, some, let's say, fluorescent green and come and blue. And then some people actually do that to catch attention. So what he's saying is that thing which is specific, which is special, which is holding your attention, you for some time you nirasani, give it up, ignore. And what you do, yad bodha matram. Yad bodha matram. That matram is to say that commonality. The non-specific foundation of all your experiences. Yad bodha matram. That consciousness alone, which remains unchanging. I see a pot, that changes into I see a cot. I see a cot, that cot changes into house. All right. So pot, cot, house changes. Nirasane, give them up. On giving it up, nirasane is seventh case, on giving it up. Then what happens? Nirasane sati, actually. Then yad bodha matram, that consciousness which is left. That consciousness which is left. Our Gurudev used to say very nicely. He used to say, thought is equal to, he used to give a mathematical formula. Thought is equal to consciousness plus object. Is it not? You have a book thought. What is a book thought? Book thought is, you are aware of the object that is called as book thought. You're conscious of the object that is book thought. So what is a thought? A thought is consciousness plus object. Now what Vidyanand is saying, the same thing. Very same point which Gurudev used to say is being said here. If you want to know what is consciousness, what you do, thought minus object is equal to consciousness. Thought is equal to consciousness plus object. Therefore, thought minus object is equal to consciousness. So, in that thought, what you do, you give up that object. Then what will remain? Yat bodha matram. That pure consciousness. That Brahma. That is Brahma. The Brahman is not sitting somewhere very complex. Very, very complex is Brahma. They say, no, Brahma Vidya. Brahma Vidya, they ask like that. Is it Brahma Vidya that you can't understand? These are ignorant people talking. In India, we have this, in our mother tongues and all we have. If it is a complex books, they say, then a Brahma Sutra, ma. To say, is it Brahma Sutra you can understand for a subject? And for a knowledge, if you can't understand, they'll say, then a Brahma Vidya, va? You can understand. I think in all our regional languages, it will be there. See the culture, how it goes. They are ignorant people talking. The most easiest knowledge is the knowledge of the self. Why? Because it is just consciousness. It bodha matram avashishtam. So that is why a Vedantin has no problem with the object. Because every object, one end of it has got consciousness. That's why even in meditation, don't worry about the thought which comes. Focus on the consciousness which is illumining that thought. Yad bodha matram avashishtam. Avashishtam has to be understood. Because after upeksha, see the word upeksha is said there. Upeksha means what? Discard. It is discard means what? Like that. Discard means is not. It's not the effort. Discard is upeksha is to. That's why I said the word disregard. But the word disregard doesn't really has got many meanings, many connotations. It is an effortless non-attention. Don't no, if you try to reject the object, when you use the word reject and all those things, a lot of effort, and the very effort to reject it will make the object so prominent. You just disregard it. Suppose you have not not a good example, but it has come, I will tell you. There are some people who have got a natural tendency to disregard dirt in home, and this dirt goes to the corner. And when the fan goes, along with the hair and everything, it will go round and round and round. And they just go, they see that 2 days not clean, let's disregard and then continue their work. Like those people, you disregard all the thoughts you have in your mind. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, the dirt only. They are all rotating round and round. Disregard. All the objective disregard. And then catch hold of that consciousness. Yad bodha matrama vasishtam tad brahma. And what is this knowledge of Brahman? Ityevam dihi. That's all. This Brahma Vidya talking, This attention towards that consciousness is Brahmatva Nishchayaha. Iti evam dihi. Please note carefully. Yad bodha matram tad Brahma. Iti evam dihi. This kind of knowledge. This kind of knowledge means what? Knowledge of this reminder. Knowledge of this consciousness. Awareness of this consciousness. That's all. You don't have to do anything. Just disregard the object and be aware of that consciousness. This is what Brahma Nishchayaha. Nishchaya means ascertainment. This is the ascertainment of Brahman. This is the clarity of Brahman with respect to Brahman. You're asking this question. I don't experience that consciousness. This way you do. This way you do. It's nothing difficult. This is the ultimate reality you're searching for. Okay? Hidden in the core of your heart. That is why it is said, in the guha it is hidden. It is hidden in you yourself. It is not hidden in you yourself, it is you yourself. Okay? All right. So, by the analysis of the Vishaya and the Vishayi, okay? Vishaya and the Vishayi. Vishaya is the object. Vishayin or Vishayi. Vishayin is a Shabda. Vishayin in the first case becomes Vishayi. Dirgha. Dirgha, longer one. By this analysis of the object and the knower of the object, you can come to this realization. Can I use two technical terms which Shankaracharya uses in the Brahma Sutra Adhyasa Bhashya? He says, Asmat Pratyaya Vishaya, Asmat Pratyaya Gochara. Asmat is I. Pratyaya is the awareness, thought. Gochara is that which is an object of that thought. So you have that I see the object, is it not? So that one single complex thought can be divided into two sub-thoughts. One is the I thought, another is the object thought. So thought is pratyaya. So let us say Vishayi pratyaya and Vishaya pratyaya. You can put a kind of tabular column. So thought. So I know the object. That is a thought. So that I know the object has two components. That know goes both sides. Okay. I know, meaning the knowledge is with respect to I also, and the knowledge is with respect to the object also. Are you getting? I know the thought. That knowing, that knowledge is with respect to what? Two things. One is with respect to I, another is with respect to the object. Therefore, there is I know also is there, object being known also is there. So two sub-thoughts, you may say, which become one cognition, one knowledge. So this I thought is called as Vishayi pratyaya. Vishayi pratyaya. And the object thought is called as Vishaya pratyaya. Vishayi pratyaya, Vishaya pratyaya. Vishayi, Vishayi dirgha. Vishayi pratyaya. Vishaya pratyaya, Vishaye. If you know diacritical marks, Vi, yes, dot below, A, Y, I, on top of I, a line. Transliteration. Some of you are laughing, but this is quite common. Vishayi pratyaya. And if it is Vishaya, Vi, yes, dot underneath, A, Y, A. You take up any book, it you will find. Even Chinmaya Mission books, if you take, first page it will be there. All these diacritical marks will be given. If you know Devanagari, you don't need it. But if you do not know, this will be useful. Vishaya pratyaya, Vishayi pratyaya. Alright, two. So one is what? So jnana. I know the object is jnana. So that two pratyaya. This Vishayi pratyaya is asmat pratyaya, is I thought. So Vishayi is knower. Who is the knower? I. So I am the knower. So I thought. Asmat pratyaya. So asmat pratyaya. Now this is what? Object is what? Bhagavan Shankaracharya gives a name, Yushmat pratyaya. Yushmat literally means you. Why should he not give, instead of you, why did he not, he could have used a third person, is it not? Why is he a second person? That I will not tell you now. Why should I tell now? That when we study Adhyaspashya, Advaita immersive is coming, no? At the time I will tell. But that is called as Yushmat pratyaya, you thought, object thought. All right. So by the analysis of Asmat pratyaya, Yushmat pratyaya, or by the analysis of Vishayi pratyaya and Vishaya pratyaya, and by disregarding the Yushmat pratyaya or Vishaya pratyaya, you come to understand the Asmat pratyaya or Vishayi pratyaya, whose object is pure consciousness. That is Brahman. I say pratyaya, but you have to understand pratyaya gochara. What is the object of that pratyaya? Okay. That's all. What is the problem in knowing consciousness? That's all. Just pay attention. Attention. Just pay attention. Every time you have to tell yourself, attention. So whenever you see any object, what should you tell yourself? Attention. You got it. Being attentive. And that is why in the Sanat Sujatiya, it's a text in, it's a portion in Mahabharata. Sanat Sujatiya, where Dhritarashtra is a student. Okay, and the Sanat Kumaras are the teacher. Shankaracharya did a bhashya on that text also. That's what they say. There he says, what is mrityu? What is fall? Spiritual fall. Mrityu is not death. What is spiritual death? So what is spiritual death? Pramado vai mrityuhu. Inattentiveness is death. Spiritual death. Being non-attentive is the spiritual death. Because why? The whole spiritual wisdom is just being attentive. So if you want to realize, you can realize now itself. You don't have to postpone anything. You don't have to study Panchadasi. Nothing you need to study. Just pay attention. And after studying Panchadasi also, you may not pay attention. The fact is little, that's all. Vedanta is little only. It is not big. Even though they say Vedanta is a Shastra, they say, no, that is not correct. Vedanta is a pramana, that's all. Pramana means of knowledge. It just tells you to be attentive, that's all. And it gives you the eye to be attentive, that's all. Nothing more it does. Therefore, suppose you are asked the question, define Vedanta, choose the correct answer. Number 1, it is a Shastra. Number 2, it is a Darshana philosophy. Number 3, it is a Pramana. What should be your answer? It is a Pramana. No, but they are studying Vedanta as one of the Shad Darshanas. That is for ignorant people. That is for people who are philosophers who want to study. For us, Vedanta is not a Darshana alone. It is basically a Pramana. Pramana means means of knowledge, So what is the means of knowledge doing? This means of knowledge is showing you how to be attentive, that's all. Like how what is the eye doing? The eye is showing you the form. So what is this Vedanta Pramana doing? Vedanta Pramana is telling you this eye which you are being conscious of is Brahman, that's all. This eye which you are already conscious of, but you are not attentive about. You are knowing, but you are not paying attention. Now pay attention, and this consciousness, what you experience, is Brahman. Is that a reality? Is a final truth? Is a supreme God? That's all. All right. So let us read this verse and we conclude the session. Yasmin asti loke bodhastattadupekshane tadbodhamatram tadbrahmya ityevam dhir brahma nishchayah yadbodhamatram. So now you please see whether you understand. Yasmin. What is it? The extra na is there, no? I think it's a spelling mistake or what? Yasmin, nasti. There's a double na there. Don't think there's an extra na there. There's a mistake. It is because of sandhi, grammatical rule. Yasmin plus asti becomes Yasmin nasti. Don't read Yasmin nasti. Yasmin asti loke bodha tattadupekshane yadbodha matram tad brahma ityevam dihi brahma nishchaya. Okay. This is one verse tells you the whole Vedantic path. Okay. All right. Anybody has got any doubts?
You can take the example of paper and writing.
Yes. Another example is paper and writing. Correct. We only see the writing, we don't see the paper. The obvious is missed out, always. Nobody has got any question today. Okay. That is very rare thing. Okay. See, I just wanted to share with you one information prior, not on the last day, but now itself. The whole month of August, we will not be having sessions. Whole month of August. Because of my travel and other reasons. So you have sufficient time for revision, especially those who have joined for the third chapter and have not gone through the first and the second chapter. Yes, Panchadasi, every chapter is a fresh chapter. Even if you don't go through the earlier chapters, you will get it. But every chapter is a beautiful chapter and it's worth not missing any chapter. So you can go through. Of course, before I go month of August, I will try to give a questionnaire also for revision of the verses we have covered so far. But this time, as I told you, the questionnaire will not be elaborate writing questions. This will be in the form of multiple choice. Oh, multiple choice, easy. It won't be like that. Unless you have studied carefully, you will make a mistake also. But I want to see that you don't make any mistakes. Then I'll be very happy. Okay. And I'm sure also we have that student, one student, another student. I don't want to call buddy. It's not student buddy. I want to say satsang companion. Okay. Satsang companions. Those of you who wanted that, who opted for it, so they have already sent you the names also. You can discuss also amongst yourself on these things. And I think we have a discussion forum also. I'm not sure whether very active or not. So it's active. So that also you can utilize. Such options are there. And in case you are interested to memorize verses also, so some verses are very, very good. For example, this verse is very important verse what we saw. And also, tam katam bodhayet shastram loshtam narasamakritim and all very nice verses. So if you want, you can memorize those verses. They are very nice. Okay. And as I mentioned to you, chapter 1 of Panchadasi is already available on DVD. Okay. So kindly make a point to have those in case you feel that you want to have the videos permanently for you to listen and study. Okay. All right. We conclude. What am I? DVD has the class. Yes. The DVD is a complete session. But some things are edited also. Suppose what happens is that suppose I tell him, Srijit, I tell him, why are you not removing that? Something I say in the middle of the class, they will remove that. Otherwise, everything is there. Some extra noise and all those things. Okay. Shall we conclude? पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ. Thank you very much.